for the country's SME sector as a result of a struggling economy. This was made worse by the COVID-19 lockdown. As we try to boost the economy, small businesses need to play a significant role. The question is, are small and medium enterprises ready for an economic rebound? Tom Stuart is the Chief Marketing Officer for Lulalend. He joins us now. Tom, good evening to you. Is there any sign yet of a recovery for SMEs? We're out of the hard lockdown, but I imagine there's still not a lot of demand in the economy.
Yeah, times are clearly still tough for SMEs, but the good news, I think, is we are seeing, certainly amongst our own customer base, signs of an early recovery and increasing confidence in small business owners and their readiness to invest in growth. Certainly since the move out of lockdown or to lockdown level 1 and ahead of the coming peak season. I mean, to give you an example of that, we've seen a 35% increase week on week since the move to lockdown level 1 from customers looking for funding for growth related reasons. So that would be to buy new equipment, to invest in inventory or run marketing campaigns. So a very different picture to what we were seeing, say, 3 to 6 months ago, where most of our funding requests were for cash flow gap issues, bridging finance, needing to pay bills, etc.
I mean, it's possible to know how this is going to go. Do you expect that momentum to continue? 35% month on month is huge.
Well, certainly, I guess to some extent we're all in the hands of the pandemic and possible vaccines. But no, we accompanying the growth in demand for funding, we're also seeing improved signs of business health amongst SMEs. So less and less customers over time are needing to restructure loans. And we can see the turnover and the cash reserves of our customers, which are crucial to any SME business. We can see them increasing. So the signs are pointing in the right direction. And I think if SMEs can continue to get access to funding to fuel any growth, then the right platforms are in place.
I mean, one of the main problems, of course, is that a lot of small companies in our country are related to tourism and travel. They're going to have a terrible December. I mean, we're not really expecting many foreign tourists here at all. The economies that they come from are in trouble.
Yeah, that is correct, Stephen. The growth we're seeing in recovery from our customers is being driven by other sectors, manufacturing, retail. Travel and hospitality related industry is still very cautious and clearly struggling. Hopefully with the opening up of the borders now, that will change, but it's certainly still early days on that. And these are the businesses that I think need to continue to get support from the right sources. And as I mentioned, for any small business, cash is king. So they need to have access to the funds to see them through these tough times.
There's been a lot of focus on what was supposed to be a big plan by government to help small businesses, the loan guarantee scheme, 200 million rand that was going to be guaranteed by government. It's had really a terrible take-up. I mean, less than sort of 6% in some cases of that money has been used. You're also in the business of lending money. What do you think's gone wrong here?
Yeah, it's been a huge disappointment, I think, to all the take-up of that scheme. Clearly, the speed and velocity at which the government and the financial institutions which they're running the scheme through to assess small businesses and lend to the right businesses and do so quickly is struggling. And it's something that the large traditional lenders have always struggled to do. They don't have that true understanding of an SME business health, and their analog old school risk assessment practices really struggle to actually identify the viable small businesses that need this funding. We believe that greater engagement with companies like ourselves at Lulalend would have helped facilitate the assessment at scale of these companies. We've got proprietary technology that's able to do that. And then we have the mechanisms to actually distribute the funds quickly as well. So I think it's just been a case of the parties involved have relied on old historical methods, but the world has changed and the challenges we're facing are very new.
And the issue of bad loans, I mean, how's the bad loans looking? Are you seeing an increase, or is it a relatively stable figure? Or Are you going to tell me that it's a secret?
We certainly obviously saw an increase, especially at the height of the lockdown. At one stage, we had approximately 50% of our customers needing to restructure. So not all of those were going bad. We were very flexible and tried to be as flexible as possible in accommodating requests for restructuring and of payments, etc. But that now has dropped to about 35%, down from a peak of 57%. So a significant drop over the last quarter, which hopefully points to, as I said, increasing business health amongst the SME community.
Tom Stuart, thanks very much indeed, Chief Marketing Officer for Lulalend.